Hi, my name is Lisa. Welcome to Creative Bird Studio. I just thought I would do a quick little video today to show you what's on my desk and what I'm working on. I've got some travel journals that I'm making at the moment, and I don't have a lot of ephemera which is travel related, so I thought I would attempt to make a few things that I could put in the journals. And I had this little piece of paper that has a map on it on my desk, and I saw that this morning and I thought I could use the colours in Distress Oxide inks to make some backgrounds and then maybe do some stamping over the top. So this is just a card that I've backed with just normal cardstock on the back, and then I've inked around the edges, and that could be used in the journals just as a little journal spot or to pop a photo on the back. So in keeping with those colours, I picked out some of my Distress Oxide inks. Now these are the re-inkers. You can also use the ink pads. I just chose to use the re-inkers because I had them on hand. And the colours that I used are tea dye, vintage photo, crushed olive and cracked pistachio. And I thought this gave me quite a good colour representation of what's in that map. And these are the pieces that I started with because I had these little 1-inch offcuts, and initially I was thinking if I coloured them up I could turn them into little sewn paper ruffles, but now that I have coloured them and stamped on them, I actually really quite like them, and I'm thinking I'll turn them into some little snippets or some little clusters instead at some point. So I'll just move those out of the way so that I can show you what I've been doing. So essentially what I'm going to show you today is that I've been making these little bits of ephemera to use in the journal. So this is a index card. It was just a plain index card at some point, and then I had, I'll just get one from over here, I had sprayed them with just a tea solution back and front, so they've got some nice textures and pattern on there already. And then I have used my Distress Oxides, which I will show you the process in a moment. And then once they were dry, I have got this Kaisercraft clear stamp, which just has all these different stamps and labels and things, so I thought that looked a bit travel related, so I have stamped that over the top, cut a little decoration out of the corner and into the edges. And then I've got this one over here, which is the same stamp just in a black ink, and then I've just torn it in half. So this too was one of those little index cards, and I've torn it in half. And when it comes to putting that into a journal, I did have a piece of paper here. So let's just pretend this is my journal page. With these little ones, I was thinking I can use them at the top like that. So I could sew that on two edges, and then that would give me a little top corner space to tuck things. Or it could just be a decoration on the corner. And then these ones would be just like this. So I could sew two sides there. And then maybe tuck my little map in. And then could have that one over on that side. One of these ones down in the corner. And then that's another opportunity there for another little tuck spot. So I thought they looked quite cute. So I thought I'll just quickly show you the process on how I made them. I'm just going to pause the video for a moment while I shake up my little inks. Okay, so my inks are nice and shaken up and mixed now. You can see that colour's gone right the way through the bottles. So all I do with these is just, this one actually doesn't come out too well. I'll just give it a shake. But the others, I squirt like a bit of a line. Make sure I mix it up a bit. It's probably a bit more than I wanted at this point, but we'll just go with that. Some green in there. Now, if you don't have the re-inkers for these Distress Oxides, then what you can do is just get your stamp pads. I'm going to get one to show you. So this is the crushed olive in the stamp pad. I would just literally stamp that straight down onto my mat and then spray it with water the same way that I'm going to spray this. It just happened that I had the re-inkers there, so I decided to use those today. I'm just going to move my finished ones out of the way because, knowing me, I will get ink everywhere and I don't want to get ink on those. Let's just do that. Okay, so I give that a good squirt with some water. Just so that the colours start to create little pools. And then I don't have a lot of room around me here for drying these, so I'm just trying to make some space. I don't know if anyone else has this issue, but my desk seems to get smaller and smaller the more ideas that come. So I'm running out of room, but anyway, here we go. Okay, so as I said, these are my little index cards which have been tea dyed. These are just a piece of cardboard that had been tea dyed as well, that I cut into the same size as an index card. So I'll start with one of those, and I literally just drop it in and pick it up. And then what I like to do, I'm probably off camera there, sorry, hang on, I'll just move this over. And then what I like to do is get another one and sandwich them together and just kind of smush it a bit and then peel them off, because I find it helps them to dry quicker because there's less puddles, and also just takes some of that ink away and makes a second transfer on another one. And I'm just noticing there's not much of this in the middle there, so I'm just going to put a bit more of that. I'll go again, and something else I do is just kind of drop it in at certain different areas just to get a variation of colour. Pop one on the top, give it a smush, there you go. See, there's me getting ink everywhere. I'm good at that. Pop those down. And if you see any areas that you've missed, you can just go back in and do it again. There's no real rules with this. There's no limit to how many times you can dip them. Actually, as they dry, the more you dip them, the more interesting they become, because the layers just layer up on top of one another. Get some of that brown. So you'll see after a while, because my colours are kind of all mixed together now, they're starting to become sort of all the same colour instead of variations of colour. So what I can do, I've got a couple of options with that. I don't like to waste my ink, so I tend to just keep going and use up what I've got here. And then I will put some more down and then dip them again, basically. My other option would be just to wipe up everything that's here and start over with a new puddle. Just running out of space. I've buried my ink. Right. So what I'm going to do is just put a little bit of green, maybe the dark brown. Just a tiny spritz of water. And then some of these that just look a bit all the same, I'm just going to dip into there. That's a nice brown blob. Let's put some on there. Maybe some of the, oops, that was a squirt in the one spot. That was a lot of green, so I'll share some of that around some of the others. Just smoosh that one on there. Right, I'll just keep, I'm going to get a bit more brown onto these ones. I'll just keep dipping those in. That noise you can hear is my squeaky chair. I probably need to tighten. Trying to stay still so it doesn't make a noise. Right, what else have we got? We've got this one. I might pop a bit of green there. So I just keep working with them, keep putting them into the puddles, seeing what variations of colour we can get. Pretty much until all my ink is gone. Because as I said, I don't like wasting it, so I'll pretty much just keep finding paper to dip in it until there's no more ink. These little index cards are really good for this kind of thing, this kind of technique. With the Oxide inks, I find it takes the ink really well, and they're quite small, so you can do a lot of them at once and then just store them in a container, and then when you need something, like they could be used as a journal card, as a pocket. There's lots of possibilities and lots of tutorials as well on YouTube on what can be done with an index card. I just buy mine at Officeworks, which is just a local stationery supplier. That one needs a bit more green. Actually, there's a couple over here. I might just actually drop some on and see what it, drop it into a wet spot. See what that does. A bit more brown. This one's just a bit too green. Oh, I didn't squirt that. Let's just put a bit of water there. See what we get. And you'll notice that as these are starting to dry, the oxides give this lovely sort of, I don't know what you would call it, just this really soft look. It's kind of like a smoky, hazy kind of a finish. It's not a strong colour, and the colours all layer up on top of one another really well. And I'm just gonna smush that one because it's too much brown. Still too much brown. Let's see what I can do with that. Put some water on it. And smush it on there again. Put some water on that one. Told you I'm good at making a mess with ink. Oops, a bit more than I wanted. That's okay. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Got nowhere to put this one down. I'm also good at running out of room on my desk. Just move my stamp. Put that there. Right, I've run out of bits of paper, so I'm going to have to say that is enough for now. So what I will do is just stick that in there. The other thing is that Distress Oxide is reactive to water. So if I go into this little area here that's pretty much dry and drop some water on it, it'll give you some more interesting droplet type looks. Just going to put a bit of water on some of them. That's also quite a nice thing to do. I'm just going to soak up the rest of this ink with something else off camera, and I will be back to show you the next step. Okay, I'm back and my desk is nice and clean, and these are some of the dried cards that I made earlier. Now, another cool trick that you can do with Distress Oxides, because they are reactive with water, is to use a stencil. So this one's got quite a lot of oxide on it, so I thought this one will probably work out well. If I just lay this stencil over the top, spritz it with water, get a piece of paper towel and just soak up that water and colour through the paper towel, and then take that off. And take the stencil off. There's still quite a lot of water there. Just try and damp it up. But hopefully you can see that there is a faint sort of reflection of that stencil pattern in there. So that's another technique that I like to do. If you were doing like a mixed media tag or a journal card or something, that technique definitely comes in handy with these inks. And it looks like you've done something really cool to the background, which you have, but it wasn't very difficult. So I quite like that one. Just pop that one aside because he's wet. Okay, so with these, what I've been doing is stamping them with my Versafine ink. I've got Vintage Sepia and Onyx Black. Actually, this is out of here. Right, so we'll start with the black. So all I do is just put some ink on the entire stamp. And then just put the whole thing, I'm trying to line it up in a corner, maybe this corner this time. Over there. And then I do the secondary stamp, which just comes out a bit lighter. So that's those two. Then I've got some just wipe that off. Might do a couple more in the black. Just move my little sample out of the way. Time I'll do that side of the stamp, and I might do the bottom and get this nice French stamp in the corner. That's good. Maybe some of these. I might switch to the brown. Do a couple of those. And then I probably can't get, if I put that like that and that like that, and I can get both. Just missed a little bit there. I might see if I can. It's a bit of black, but that's all right. Okay, got those, and then a couple brown ones. I'll just do this. One's quite faint. That's okay. Just wipe up my mat. I'm very messy, I tell you. If anyone can get ink and paint and stuff everywhere, it's definitely me. I'm sure other people have that issue as well. Can't be the only one. Just pop that little, oh, that's a bit skew, it's all right. Okay, and I might just go over that edge. Nice. Okay, so once I've done that, then just wipe that. It gives me a nice array of bits and pieces to use in my travel journal. And I think that the colours really do sort of resemble what's in the colours of the map. So I think that's a nice tie back to the travel theme as well. And then I'll just pull my trolley over. I've got a couple of corner punches. So if I have a look what lends itself to having the corner punched, maybe this one. Oh, that's two. Maybe this one. Punch that out, and that looks quite nice. So that can be another one of my little pockety ones. And then maybe an opposite corner. That one might be good. And I probably need another one opposite. So I'll do that one as well. And then just looking at what other options I've got here. Got a corner rounder if I want to round some. And then maybe, oh, maybe this one, because it's got a circle on the corner, so that might be quite nice with a roundy corner. That's going to be a that way one. I'm just trying to think about these journals I'm doing and what I might need for them. This one might be nice, a roundy corner. Okay. So you can see how something that's come from something quite plain is really elevated by just some stamping over the top. And then you could take these even further by putting them through a die cut machine, cutting some shapes out. I have been inking the edges because if you know me, I love my inked edges. However, they I'm finding that where the oxide is, it doesn't seem to ink up as dark. But that's okay. It just adds to my rustic kind of a look. And then the areas where there is no oxide, I can really get in and make them really nice and dark. And then it just really lifts the oxide more. So I quite like that. So that's what I've been doing. And the other thing I've been doing, I just remembered, make sure I don't do any of my nice corner ones, is I've been tearing them in half. So, well, let's do one like this, even not so in half, just a little bit random. I'm just going to tear some of that white away because I don't like that big white edge. Let's get rid of that. Take that down. And then we'll ink along that edge. Just for some variation, some different pockets, different tuck spots. It's quite nice. There we go. So that's probably all I'll do on camera today. It was just a quick, well, I hope it's a quick video just to show you what I was doing, what I've been working on, and hopefully you've enjoyed that and you'll be able to either get some ideas and go off and make something using some of the techniques that I've used, or make some for yourself or for your next journal. If you've enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up, and I'd love it if you'd subscribe to my channel. Thank you.